The phrase "the last days" often evokes thoughts of cataclysmic events, upheavals, and widespread destruction. For many, it's a distant future reality that may seem abstract or even terrifying. But when Jesus spoke about the last days, his warnings were not just about physical events. They were a call for spiritual awareness and preparedness. What he had to say might shock you, especially in the context of how those warnings are still relevant today. In the Gospels, Jesus does not mince words when talking about his return. He describes the last days as a time when the world will experience confusion and chaos, but also the moment when he will come back in glory. In Matthew 24:30, he says, "At that time, the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, and all the nations of the earth will mourn." This statement highlights not only his physical return, but also the profound impact it will have on the world. The shocking aspect is that despite all the warnings he gives, many will not be prepared for his coming. One of the most startling warnings Jesus gives in Matthew 24:4-5 is about deception. Watch out that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, claiming, "I am the Messiah," and will deceive many. He goes on to warn that deception will be so widespread that even the elect, those who are supposed to be spiritually aware, will be in danger of being misled. The modern world, especially with the rise of technology, has become fertile ground for deception. Social media, fake news, and false teachers have made it easier than ever to manipulate truth. Jesus foresaw this, and his warning was that the end times would be marked by a struggle for truth in the midst of overwhelming falsehoods. Jesus also warned that his followers would face intense persecution. In Matthew 24:9-10, he says, "Then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other." In today's world, Christians around the globe are facing increasing levels of persecution, whether through legal means, social marginalization, or outright violence. These warnings from Jesus are more than historical. They are becoming an ongoing reality for many. What's more shocking is that Jesus says, even some who follow him will abandon their faith in the face of hardship, choosing, instead, to betray fellow believers. While Jesus does predict a future filled with hardship, he also calls his followers to remain vigilant and prepared. In Matthew 24:42, he warns, "Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come." This is not just a call to be alert to global events, but to live in constant spiritual readiness, knowing that the ultimate hope lies not in earthly stability, but in the return of Christ. The shocking reality of Jesus' words about the last days is not that they foretell disaster, but that they challenge us to live in anticipation of his return. The idea that we should be constantly prepared, spiritually, emotionally, and morally, is a call that goes against the grain of a world that often encourages complacency and distraction. Jesus' warnings highlight the importance of maintaining a deep, living relationship with him, regardless of the circumstances. Though his warnings may seem unsettling, they are paired with a promise. Jesus' return signifies not just judgment, but also restoration, renewal, and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. In John 14:3, he reassures his followers, "And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am." The last days, as Jesus describes them, may be filled with unsettling truths, but they are also a reminder of the hope that his return brings. The shocking nature of his warnings serves to prepare us, not to fear, but to live with purpose, knowing that the challenges we face in this world are temporary and that something much greater awaits us in eternity. Jesus' warnings about the last days are not just a call to observe the world around us, but to be spiritually vigilant. Deception, distress, persecution, and the need for constant readiness are all part of the picture. However, they are not reasons to despair, but to seek a deeper connection with Christ and a life that is grounded in faith. The last days, as Jesus described, challenge us to live with urgency, knowing that his return is imminent. The question remains, are we ready?